I think there is I think the good framework or three aspects that the good design should be: that it should be desirable from the end user's point of view. It should be feasible in the way that it is somehow possible and even easy to manufacture, and then of course be viable, saying that it should have some commercial value. But it's as I said, a few business can exist if there isn't demand for that. I think if we think about industrial design, I think part of the game is that it is always in a commercial context, and I think it's partly what makes it challenging. And I think there, if strictly spoken, there couldn't be any design without the economic framework. But of course, sometimes we try to work with projects that we have without clients, that could be entering a competition or initiating some sort of concept project where we are free of basically the restrictions. But of course then it's always possible to move more forward towards the area of art and do whatever you like, just by express yourself in the way you like. But it is after having done a lot of client work, years after years, suddenly if you have the possibility to do anything, it's not that easy. That it is also an area that you need to rehearse in able to be able to do it.
And I think it's actually quite easy to find something to be passionate about in every project, even though you wouldn't think that, okay, this is something that I will love to do. But anyway, you get so deep into those projects that you can, it's even small things that you get excited about and get emotional response, and that is very good.
I think that's the fundamental meaning of design, building a world a better place. But I think the challenge is there, that I think design has managed to make the world a better place for humans and for businesses, but it has, during the past decades, it has happened a lot on the expense of the planet. And that's something that has to change, that we definitely have to start working towards more sustainable ways of doing it. But it's, I think design has basically no other meaning than that.
I don't know, there's a certain amount of creativity, of course, involved with the work, but as an artist I wouldn't say so. I think for artists makes their work from their own point of view only, I think, and then the designers have to always consider different kind of other elements and groups in order to fulfill their work.
I think that most likely there is even more that we ourselves notice, but I think of course the aspects that we combine with Finnish design is that it's timeless, it is quite minimalistic in expression. The aspect of long-lasting is there, strongly built in, but also the idea of creating the maximum out of the minimum, that it is the scarcity is somehow the source of inspiration. But I think there is a lot, but of course in today's world I think good design is good design regardless whether it's done in India or in Finland. That maybe you can see it, or you can consider that simply as good design. I think first of all, from the very beginning, we were really impressed about the how would I say, the seriousness how VitrA takes design and how important they see the design is for their business, but combined with a really dynamic and determined way of working. That it has, we have the feeling that this is VitrA is truly one of the leading in its field in the world, and could set a good example for many other companies how to work with design and designers.
And I think they have a quite good balance with emotion and rationality, and they are doing very nice innovative products, and even testing very new ways of creating products. That is nice to see that's something that you seldom see.
That's something that we actually from the very beginning tried to work quite logically with, that we stated three sources of inspiration. The first is the everyday life of people. How do they bathe and what would they really want in their bathrooms? And second one is that this is somewhat maybe a cliche also for the Finnish design, that to look for inspiration from nature, that you find a lot of shapes that are actually created by water or that are somehow logically connected with the use of water. And the third that we already discussed, the somehow to build in the tradition of Finnish design with a twist, some ideas about the modularity and the use of as few parts as possible to create all the possible alternatives and so on. But these three aspects.
I think our design hopefully will make a little difference in their everyday lives. I think that is something that I mentioned already earlier, that if we manage to do something that affects their normal life, then we have succeeded.
I think the sometimes I feel that the designer's inspiration is a big myth. It can grow from anywhere, but I think watching quite ordinary things with a slightly different thoughts or lenses as usually, I think that's already a good one. Or seeing people using things in a different way than they are supposed to. I think that's maybe even the most typical source of inspiration. But of course, nature is a great inspiration, art, architecture, but it can be basically anything. And of course, then simply not looking for it anywhere. But I think that the most inspirational, and this shouldn't be got wrong, but it's if you are intensively working with a project and you are in the meeting room and you try to come up with ideas, and when you go to the toilet, forget for a while, you get the idea. And I think that if I would have to give one answer, I would say the toilet is the space, a place to get the new ideas.